All right. I think we should be ready to go. Okay, not muted or anything. Okay, here we are. Welcome. I hope you're having a good day or a good evening or a good afternoon or good morning, wherever you are. Yeah, today today is another week where we are a little bit, well, I won't say off schedule, but I will say off theme. In a way that I am, well, this is like the second week in a row that I'm doing something else apart from the cooking streams, and that I'm actually switching this time slot for my reaction streams. The reasons for that are pretty much because well, there's only one reason really. I've been in the process of moving, and last night I spent the whole night packing, and I didn't have a lot of time to actually organize the cooking stream, and I just kind of wanted to apologize for that because it's a fun community event, but they will definitely be back, so you don't have to. You don't have to worry about that. I'm just kind of right now I'm in transition. As you can see behind me, my house, the place that I live in, it doesn't really look like it used to. It looks kind of naked and not filled with my usual stuff. So last night I was working on that. Well, welcome Victor, welcome back. How are you doing? So yeah, I've been mostly doing that. I went to bed at like 4 or 5 in the morning. I woke up at 11:30, and I was like, woo, my day is gone. Um and I will still undoubtedly stream this week, but for the time being, I'm just kind of switching these afternoon events to be the community reaction events and videos, because those are what I can get set up right now. So yeah, hopefully hopefully that's fine with you. As I said, they will be back as soon as I start streaming again. And when it comes to that, I still don't have any new updates from the from the internet company or whatever. It is Saturday though. I somehow, like, as I'm working on weekends, I don't really expect other people to, not work, but obviously they have weekends and they earned them. So I shouldn't be like calling and bothering them, although I do, but no one answers because it's Saturday and they're not working. So yeah, as soon as I have any news when it comes to the actual internet and all that stuff, I will definitely let you know. Oh, good morning, Lunith. Welcome back. What's up? So yeah, today we are gonna be we're mostly going to be looking at some of the community content that I've been missing out on throughout the week. There is a lot. So I will be doing this tomorrow afternoon as well. And when it comes to the rest of the streams for this week, till later tonight, I really want to continue with Heidelin. I really want to get me that mount. It's probably not going to happen, but we are sure going to try. And when it comes to tomorrow's stream, I really want to focus on lore stuff. So I want to finish my Reaper Shadowbringers role quests, I guess, and then the big level 80 quests or whatever. And once I'm done with that, I think I want to do my dancer job quests. I think they go from like level 60 to 70 or whatever, or 70 to 80. I don't know. I think it's 60 to 70 or maybe 60 to 80. I have no idea. But my dancer is currently she's at 82, I think. So I'll be able to go through all of them, ending with that final level 80 quest. And if I have time, I would like to start the Endwalker, the dancer quest, but I'm not sure if I'm gonna have time, depending on how the rest of them go. But yeah, I just want to I want to catch up on the dancer lore, and hopefully it's gonna be fun. I hear that a lot of you are excited about it, so I want to see what the whole fuss is about. Yeah, 2 drops in a row. That's crazy, isn't it? Like I think it was quite a day. But yeah, how are you doing? How is your weekend going? hope you've been having a good one so far. I actually have picked out a lot of things that that I wanna watch, and you guys also want me to watch it because I picked some of them from the Discord, from the reaction channel. Not all of this is what I'm gonna be doing today. These, like the ones that are left to be watched, I will watch them tomorrow. So don't worry about the overwhelming amount of tabs that I have open. That's a 60 to 70. Oh, okay. Love Dance Requests, and one thing from dance, the dancer music theme is from FF9. I see. So basically, with the dancers, I guess it makes sense that like the music and the theme are gonna be important. But yeah, good thing that you let me know so that I can actually kind of pay attention to it. Anyway, I'm not sure what half of today's videos are, but I'm kind of looking forward to them. So far so good. Just a chill Saturday, working on sending my resume out though. Nice. Good luck with that. This is I'm not sure if I ever watched any of Drax's videos. What we don't want changed in FF14. I'm kind of interested in this because I do not recall any of the particular changes being announced, so I'm not sure if this is something that he's referring to, or it's different. But anyway, let's get to know someone new. If the sound is quirky in any way, just let me know.
Hello and welcome everyone to another discussion video. Today,
his character's pretty cool.
Something a little different. Instead of starting a dialogue on what things could be improved or added to Final Fantasy XIV, I thought we could take some time to express the things that we're happy with as they are in the game.
I like how he's an aura, but you know how I always say that I don't really like the way male auras look? Like, this one actually looks like it could be a cool in-game character.
Overall, it's important to let the team know what they're doing right so they can continue doing it, as much as it is to let them know when they miss the mark.
That's true.
Now, before anyone goes off on a tangent about this being a way to suck up to the devs, consider this. For every good thing you take for granted, there are those out there who are probably criticizing the same stuff on other videos, forums, social media, and so on.
There's a reason why these what we want changed videos are more prevalent in the whole industry, on YouTube, within the gaming community or whatever. It's like when you're a content creator and when you want to gain traction, the drama videos are more likely to be really popular and clicked on. Not a lot of people want to be clicking on the positive videos like, oh, this is good, let's hear about these good things. Mostly they're gonna be clicking on someone just like complaining about some stuff so they can like be angry along with them and get that emotional response and verification of their own feelings. But I wanna see the other side as well.
It's good that they're doing so, but if we also don't talk about the things we enjoy from time to time, the negative feedback can easily seem dominant. Another reason I'm calling attention to this is because I believe it takes something very good to happen for someone to give the same amount of positive feedback than one would normally give over a mild inconvenience in the other direction. But you may be asking, is another reason I'm doing this because I've been pestering the official Final Fantasy XIV English Twitter about adding my most desired mounts to the game over the past couple weeks? Of course not. Okay, maybe. But come on, they'd be so cool. In any case, here are 4 things I'm very happy about within the game. Right after I talk about something else that I'm thankful for. Today's sponsor, Boxu. If you've been watching this channel for the past year, you're all too familiar with Boxu at this point, and that's because many of you keep buying boxes from them, which means they keep asking me to do more videos for them. And I'm certainly not complaining, since that means I keep getting box after box each month of authentic artisanal Japanese snacks from Japan.
Oh,
each
wow.
month has a new theme with new items, some of which I've never heard of before.
This is pretty cool.
This month's theme is Pink Valentine, perfect for you last-minute gift buyers. And while you have your classic Valentine sweets like the Azuki chocolate, there's savory flavors as well, such as the...
Dude, this is such a cool gift. Like, I'm normally not like the sweets kind of person, but look at how awesome they look, and you get to just like try new things that you haven't tried before. It's awesome.
Spicy mini heart senbei. Whatever treats tickle your taste buds, Boxu comes through. Use the link in the description to get your order started, and code DRAC10 for 10% off your subscription. Now back to the video. First, speaking of mounts, my all-time favorite mount is one I requested years ago on the official forums, being the Black Pegasus. It was first seen as a boss in Soar Kai, and I immediately fell in love with the design. I asked for it to be added in through whatever means necessary, be it in hard mode content or the cash shop. Now, many are understandably opposed to cash shops in pay-to-play games, but I don't mind supporting the devs a little extra. To everyone's benefit, however, it was included as an extremely...
I guess this is kind of a popular thing to discuss right now, because of all the WoW drama with like the new mounts and the spectral tiger and whatnot. I don't know, like I have this really unpopular opinion when it comes to store mounts. I guess less unpopular in Final Fantasy. Like I'm totally fine with them because in Final Fantasy, the mounts that you can get in game, you can't really tell which are the store mounts. When I first started playing Final Fantasy, I thought that like all of the mounts that I saw in game were like store mounts, whereas they were actually just like very hard achievement mounts. And I really enjoyed the concept of that. And I saw some of the store mounts and I'm like, this one's cute, but it's not as good as this or that mount that you can actually get within the game. So yeah, I see nothing wrong with it.
Airdrop from the Palace of the Dead from one of the gold trim sacks you can find from floors 150 to 199. What makes it trickier is that if you fail a set of 10 floors, you'll lose any and all trim sacks you acquired during those 10 floors, even if you've gotten to the boss. This mount was a long time coming, and it took a very long time to get a group together that was willing to put in time for multiple runs. I think we got to floor 190 3 to 4 times and completed floor 200 twice. After all that effort though, it finally paid off, and I use this mount even more now than my Rathalos. And it's all thanks to the dev team taking that request along with others into consideration.
That's so cool.
And also to let them know I will put in the effort to get the mounts if they actually add them into the game. So please just add them into the game. Second, I want to reiterate my gratitude for the recent monk changes. The Blitz system is unique, gives me something to think about.
I know nothing about
and
this.
has ended up being really flexible, at least to me. It's been very fun to learn and even more satisfying to pull off. Plus, the animations we get now for the finishing moves are amazing. It's exactly what I've been asking for years, and I'm really happy with the state of it. I could go on and on about this.
It's kind of nice to hear a video from someone who actually, submits feedback and has some proof that the feedback gets listened to, because it kind of gives you hope that, if you give feedback that you might just get listened to. Like, he doesn't have, like, millions and millions of subscribers. Like, I think his channel is around, like, 70k subs, and it's not small, of course, but it's not like he will, like, automatically expect to be listened to. So it's a pretty cool thing.
But I'll save it for another video sometime. Long story short though, this was awesome. Third, Samurai's new kit is actually very enjoyable. I'd say it's quite a bit simpler than Monk in my opinion, but I've been thoroughly enjoying it in the current extreme trials. It's honestly like they looked at Samurai and went, what makes this job fun? Then just gave us a bunch
I love
more
the
of
face
it.
expressions.
More Subamagaishi, more Meikyo-Shisui, which both basically translate to way more Midari.
Do you guys know, like, if this is like a themed glam from like some game mode, like I don't know, like PvP or something like that, or is it just like a random art, or does it mean anything?
And of course the new Ogi Nami Kiri, which activates all my neurons at once. I think this is the first time I've been genuinely excited to watch an ability come off cooldown. Before, Ikishoten was, oh cool, I get more Kenki, but now you get an extremely high potency attack that has underlying base and that camera shake that makes it feel absolutely beefy. Now I mentioned earlier that the things I enjoy can be the very subject of another's criticism, and this just so happens to be one of those things. Yoshi P unfortunately had to rebuke some of the JP player base over their vitriol over Samurai because they believed it feels too much like a caster now or something to that effect. I, on the other hand, couldn't disagree more. Samurai has always had these cast times with the Iaijutsu, but they've always felt more like a wind-up than a cast time, if that makes sense. It's got a great sense of build-up leading to, in my opinion, a very satisfying payoff, and I'm personally glad we get to see more of it. The criticism of others is just as valid, mind you, because they simply enjoy the game differently. I would still like the dev team to know, however, that there are those of us who really enjoy how Samurai is playing now. Like, a lot. You'll definitely be seeing.
It's kind of interesting to hear this after watching that video. I think it was Quasi that made the video about the anti-bullying movement. So yeah, it's nice to know that not everything is one-sided. Anyways, I don't play Samurai, but I've been trying to look into the changes.
Me bounce back and forth between Samurai and Monk during Savage raids. Finally, keeping with the job changes and additions, I'm very happy with Reaper, as I think most people are.
Reaper
the actual
is so
reason
cool.
I'm adding it to this list, however, is because it adds playstyle variety that I think should be kept in mind for future job designs. What I mean is that now we have an array of different melee jobs that each play at different paces and have their own flair and strengths. It's always made me very nervous anytime people start criticizing Monk's high skill speed, because that's a big reason why I enjoy it so much. Instead of changing current jobs on the whims of new or lesser skilled players, no offense, really, I would prefer nudging them towards slower, more straightforward jobs. The implementation of Reaper gives me hope that they're willing to commit a bit more to having that kind of spectrum.
I like that they do change jobs, but at the same time, they don't just go ahead and like rework everything, but instead they just add more variability. Like if you don't like this, there's always going to be like an option for you to play something that you like. But you know, if that job doesn't really have any cool glams you want to wear, yeah, you know, tough shit.
Common feature in many different games to have a difficulty rating on different jobs and characters to inform new players what they're getting into. And while something being common doesn't automatically mean it's good, I think it's beneficial when implemented this way. Of course, not everyone views difficulty the same way, but even basing it off skill speed or abilities per minute would be a good start. Sorry, I didn't mean to turn this into a suggestion, but I also really hope they don't tune any jobs down because newer players haven't built themselves up to handling them yet. Unless the jobs in question, of course, are intended to be on the simpler side. And that's all I've got right now. There's plenty more I'm really enjoying about the game, of course, but I've taken a lot of it for granted, so it's hard for anything that isn't brand spanking new to jump out at me at the moment.
Like, I don't think they're gonna go ahead and like change jobs for no reason, just so that they could implement change for the sake of change and for the sake of like shaking the meta or whatever. Like they shook the meta by adding the new jobs, and they changed what needed to be changed, I guess. So that's good game design.
But that's where you all come in. Whatever you've been enjoying or appreciating, be sure to leave a comment below so your voice can be heard. And do try to save any critiques or suggestions of the game for another time, as I make videos specifically for that purpose. Any suggestions for me, however, on how I might improve this format are welcomed. Thank you again to the Final Fantasy XIV team for their efforts. Thank you everyone here for watching. God bless you all, and I'll see you in the next one.
I like how his videos actually feel like you're conversing, like with the animation of the character. Like you don't, like, even though it's just a voiceover, you don't really feel like it's you don't really feel like he's not there, right? It's a good video. What's this? This is a clip of some sort. Tataru of the End. What? I'm gonna sub to this person. I like subbing to these people who make these short things. They're fun to watch.
Don't let the name fool you.
Oh god.
This coin keeper knows a thing or two about spending.
In the course of which they learned the truth. That they would never be free of fear and sorrow, anger and despair. Rejoice, for I will free you from the cruel yoke of existence.
What? Market board ultimate unlocked. Oh, sea of bullshit prices.
No. Let's not make hasty accusations.
I love how even with all of the innocent Tataru cutscenes, they somehow managed to make Tataru just freaking intimidating.
By the look of things, the ritual was proceeding as planned.
If you thought our coffers were full to bursting before, just wait.
It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in Magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
2,000 years later.
I'm so confused. Big fucking mistake, artificial tycoon. How did they do it? How did they turn Tataru into a villain in 2 minutes? Jeez. Oh, that's a good one.
And it actually just...
What is this? Okay, this is another one of Accolon's. Our weekly dose of Accolon is upon us, of course. And this is the video that, surprisingly, I have not seen. Final Fantasy XIV lies that WoW players believe. Like, I actually just kind of want to know, like, what he has to say, because he does content for both of the communities, and they probably clash a lot and agree a lot and also disagree a lot on a lot of things, so it's always interesting to hear. Hi Varys, welcome back. How are you doing? And Hans, welcome back. How are you doing? Hope you're having a good weekend. All right, let's see what he has to say. Like, I'm just so addicted to his videos. Like, no matter what he makes, I have to watch it. Sorry.
And it actually just proves how little you know about Final Fantasy, right? When I hear people making these arguments about Final Fantasy, you know, the end game sucks, or there's no competition at the rating level, there's no competition for this, that, or the other, and it's like, well, you're just literally proving that you don't understand Final Fantasy. Because unlike World of Warcraft, the developers of Final Fantasy have not decided.
How about, I don't know, how about we have someone invent a technology in which when you type in a comment or anything on Twitter or on YouTube or anywhere, if you comment on a game mode that you haven't completed yet, the algorithm reads it and there's like an error popping out being like, hey, you know, go there and complete that first, and then you can post this comment. Like, you know? Because people do it all the time.
For you, the player, what the end game is. Because the end game is different for every single player. You get people whose end game is housing, and that's all they fucking do in Final Fantasy.
And why
then
not?
You get people for whom the end game is raiding, and that's all they fucking do in the end game is raiding. You get people for whom the end game is crafting, and that's all they do. They don't do anything else. Because the game is designed in such a way that everything is based on your personal preference. Everything can be end game. You just have to decide what it is that you feel like doing at the end game. How do you wish to play your video game? At the end of the day, that is what your game is all about. And Atom Jar, just to be clear, there is PvP in Final Fantasy, and there's actually an incredible amount of people that love PvP in Final Fantasy. Moreover, Final Fantasy is going through a lot of changes for PvP in Endwalker, right? They're actually starting to focus on PvP now as a proper end game experience. So it is something that they're focusing on. It is.
I'm very new to PvP, and I can say I'm currently at the most casual level that PvP and Final Fantasy can offer, which is just like queuing for daily frontlines. Nevertheless, I still think that if someone wants to comment in any way on PvP, that they should still do at least that, and not just do it once or twice, but actually try to play and not just like stand at these like flag capture places and try to guard them and get killed when someone approaches them, but to actually try to, you know, get kills themselves and get captures themselves and try to get a little good at it, because that can go a long way when it comes to understanding like what PvP actually is. You'll have plenty of people just commenting on it without ever putting even the slightest bit of effort into, well, first of all, into organizing their PvP like keybinds and stuff. Some people will just like jump into PvP. They're gonna be like, ooh, I don't know these spells, you know, and they will just click on the spells that glow and that are available to them. But like, take the time, take 2 or 3 minutes to read through your spells, organize them the way you're gonna actually use them in combat, and see where it takes you.
things that they're focusing on. Of course, I don't PvP, so I don't really give a fuck about PvP, right? It's never been something that I care about. But I do think it should be there. Let me be clear. I do believe that it should be there, because if there's someone that likes stuff like that, they should be allowed to do that stuff. But I think there's many people, especially World of Warcraft players, who either, for lack of a better word, purposefully refuse to pay attention to what Final Fantasy is all about, or they've heard someone say something, right? And now they believe that someone to be true, not realizing that half the people that says anything about Final Fantasy, especially when people are negative about Final Fantasy, are saying it just because they want to be negative, not because they actually care.
And not because they actually completed the mentioned piece of content, hence the algorithm suggested at the beginning.
Or actually know, right? They just really not want people to leave their game, World of Warcraft, to go play Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is the perfect theme park MMO. Because it is. It has so many rides, and you get to choose the rides that you want to go on, and you get to leave the rides that you don't. The game is designed in such a way that there is no right or wrong way to play the game. There's just playing the game. Right? And this,
Whereas in World of Warcraft, the rides, right, the theme park rides, will be organized in a way that you enter a theme park, and then the park is like, okay, this is your first ride of the day, you know, this is your second one, your third, your fourth, your fifth one. They will like be lined in, and then you'll have like a day to complete them, or a week to complete them, or whatever. But let's say a day, because who stays at theme parks for longer than a day? You know? It's like, if you want to get to your ride that you want to be in, like at the end, like you're gonna have to go through all these rides and collect tokens as proof that these rides are something not that you just participated in, but enjoyed also. Like these tokens would be like the proof of pleasure or whatever, even though no one really takes pleasure in content that they have to do to get to the content that they want to do. It's just so ridiculous.
Saying it. It's Yoshi P himself made it very clear. The way they've designed Final Fantasy is that there is no right or wrong way to play the game. There's just playing the game. And what's more important, and again, I feel like this is something that so many WoW players don't get. In Final Fantasy, there is no sort of minimum required hours to play.
Yeah.
Like, there just isn't. There's no such thing in Final Fantasy as you have to log in every single day.
In WoW, you can calculate it. Like, for example, if you're gonna be doing well, let's say any kind of raiding, but I can speak for heroic and mythic raiding. Like, what you have to do is, let's say, Torghast, to collect your like soul cinders, soul ashes, or whatever. Like, one Torghast run will take you about, I don't know, half an hour. And then times 2, if you're going on both wings, that's already like at least an hour a week of Torghast. And then you have to complete your chores for the weekly vault thing for the gear. And let's say you have to complete, like, I don't know, 3 dungeons or however much. Like, you can specifically calculate how much time the game will require you to do these things if you want to participate in any sort of like high-end content. Not because the game requires you, but because the culture is shaped in such a way that other players who want to play the game at that level will also require you to do that. And you can't really go and play with them if you don't do these things, because they spend their time doing these things so that they could be as good as they can be, so that their skills match their the time and the commitment that they invest into the game otherwise. I'm not sure if I'm making a valid point here. It's like no one wants other people to waste their time in game. Even though they're good, they can't really show that they're good because the game will just not allow them to do that, because they have to put in a certain amount of time to actually let their, skills, I don't know, be visible. Because without the gear from, I don't know, Mythic plus Dungeons, or without the upgraded legendaries with Soul Cinders or whatever, like, you can't really do much.
Else you're gonna miss out, or you must do these things, or else you're gonna miss out. In Final Fantasy, it's literally just do whatever, right?
And people still try. People still get good gear. People still try not to disappoint others within content. Not everyone. Most people will try not to waste other people's time. Most people will try to get as good of gear as possible so that they can make their healer's job easier, or so that they could avoid hitting the enrage timers and do more DPS with their, jobs and whatnot. People still feel that responsibility, and they fulfill it regardless of the fact that they're not obliged to
do whatever. So personally, I think a lot of people I think misunderstand the shall we say, a lot of people misunderstand how Final Fantasy is supposed to be played, and what it means to play a game that offers complete and utter freedom. And then Darkun, so you don't need ults in Final Fantasy. So I get what you're saying, right? If you want to play multiple races, you have to play the MSQ every single time. But I mean, the game is sort of designed that your class or the race that you pick is the only important thing. From there, every job can be played on that one character, and leveling up a second profession or a second job, once you have a character at max, once you already have a job at max level, is much faster, right? It's really fast. It fucks off quite quickly, because I believe you get increased XP with every single job that you, or when you level a second job. So they do have ways of sort of, stopping that from happening. But then at the same time, I feel like a lot of people sort of oversell the difficulty of leveling in Final Fantasy. When you already know the story, leveling is really quick in Final Fantasy. Like, leveling is incredibly quick when you already know the story. Like, you can get to level 50 when you skip all of the dialogue. Probably, I think you can do it in a day, maybe a little bit more than a day.
Oh, okay, so he was just talking about the MSQ. I get that.
You could get to level 50, and you could probably finish almost all of the ARR content very quickly, right? Just by skipping everything. Because the vast majority of Final Fantasy is dialogue. It's discussions. It's the story, right? You could absolutely skip through all of it very quickly if you're just skipping because you already know it. So people oversell sometimes the difficulty of leveling in Final Fantasy. I'd say Final Fantasy is actually easier to level than most MMOs if you remove the story from it.
Yeah, but like saying these things in the same sentence, like Final Fantasy XIV, and removing the story, it's just like, like it's just, it doesn't fit. It's just my take, but whatever, people can do what they want. A good one. I can't really see my tabs. What is this? This is why WoW will never die. What is this? Just Eddie. Let's give him a sub. Why not? I don't even know what the video is about. At this point, I'm just looking for new people to watch. Been kind of content starved these days. Okay, I hope the point of this video is not just like you can go through the zones and the zones are beautiful and that's something that will forever be appreciated because, well, you can do that anywhere. What I personally find sad about this is that for those of you who haven't played WoW, these are some of the questing zones or the low level zones or whatever. And yeah, he's walking around with his like interface turned off or whatever, but there's never ever, well, not never ever, but there's mostly no one around. And another thing about this video is that it kind of takes you through the zones that carry a lot of memories for either the story or for some people like their personal in-game experiences, because that is normally where they will kind of, you know, where they will find them or experience them. But past experiences and nostalgia, in my opinion at least, should never be reasons for you to continue to play the game. Like, I always use these analogies with like relationships, but you know, staying in a relationship just because it used to be good and mean something is it never feels good, does it? I won't lie though, these zones are full of nostalgia. It's empty, man. There's no one there. I don't know, maybe I'm just a big skeptic when it comes to this, but I'm just not feeling it anymore. I really used to, and maybe there was a time when I would have argued, oh yeah, you know, these reasons, these places, these things, they will always, you know, mean something, but I'm not at that point anymore, and now I'm just like, what? Okay, these are nostalgic. Now, WoW just maybe I think the graphics are a personal preference. WoW and some of the graphics have this like Disney-ish look or whatever. It's more suited for Western audience. What you're seeing here are the old zones that haven't really been reworked. So those are like the low level old zones from like, I don't know, 2005 or whatever. So some of the stuff within the game looks really old, and like the point of this video is kind of I don't know, to kind of take you down the memory lane and be like, hey, these places will always mean something. But yeah, some of the stuff looks pretty bad. But But yeah, like when I switch to Final Fantasy, for some people they can never make the switch. They're so used to seeing this that they just can't handle these like switches and stuff. But I feel the same way. Like for me, FF was I don't know, just looks better. Like it's an alright video for the right kind of audience. For me, I don't think I fit there anymore. Like this makes me feel nothing. So used to think WoW is the best MMO ever made. Yeah, like many, but like I think I don't know. I think social media and just the overall coverage had a lot to do with that because we've been exposed to WoW like a lot, and other MMOs have been around for ages as well. But I think it's just the amount of people who played WoW and who talked about WoW made you think that it's like the only one or whatever. If you'll ever people skip MSQs, I don't know what they're missing. Yeah, like they don't understand the consequences of skipping the MSQ because for me, like as I was going through the later expansions, especially Shadowbringers and Endwalker, I felt I was actually struggling to remember some of the stuff that happened within the Realm Reborn. Like I would remember most, but some stuff that seemed important, I'd just be like, oh, you know, like I have to think about that. Like for people who skip the Realm Reborn, Shadowbringers is almost insignificant because of the identity of the Exarch and that whole thing. Like I honestly think that the whole emotional attachment to the Exarch that culminates within Shadowbringers renders Shadowbringers actively insignificant for people. Change my mind, you know? Yeah, it does look budget to me, to be honest, after playing FF. A lot of people will disagree with me because they have their own personal preferences, but it is what it is. Okay, and what is this?
Greetings, travel.
Oh, okay, this is the video that like a bunch of people watched, and had different opinions about it, but I still haven't gotten to watch it. He kind of has a more quiet voice, so if the sound's too low, just let me know. Yeah, it does need an overhaul. I agree. And also, Dad, welcome back. Sorry for not saying anything. I hope you're having a good weekend.
Greetings, travelers. This game is easy. That's right, you could have never believed it. It's not that hard. I know what you're wondering. What could have possibly set the chairman off this time? Did someone insult Nekopara or something? No, I'm once again constantly reminded why I separate myself from every gaming community on the planet, despite the fact that this is what I do for a living. Because the only people that have time to say anything ever are the people that are going to constantly complain about literally everything. I'm already the enemy of both the casuals and the optimizers of the Final Fantasy XIV community, so it's time for me to get angry yet again. I've said this in the past, but I barely keep up to date on current events in Final Fantasy XIV. I just live in blissful ignorance, casting Midare Setsugeka like a NEET who immerses himself in RP to escape reality. You want a funny experiment? Try saying that any job in Final Fantasy XIV is easy, and just watch as everyone who plays that job explains to you that actually, you just don't understand the subtle nuance to no.
Oh God, what?
You don't understand the subtlety of being indistinguishable from any other keyboard or controller masher. I guess anyone who plays on a DDR pad is probably safe, though. I'm going to make this clear as day. Every
single job is easy at a mediocre level.
It's very hard for me to disagree with this. I am not at the stage of the game where I can say he's right or wrong because I have not played all the jobs. But for someone who suffers from severe anxiety when starting new things and like getting herself accustomed to like new roles and stuff, I have to say that every single job that I've played so far has made that anxiety disappear very quickly because I realized that I can in fact do it. So I'm either super capable, super talented, just super OP, or everyone can learn these jobs. You know, take your pick.
Everything. It should be. It shouldn't be that hard to look at a job and have a basic idea of what you want to do. The only reason why people want their job to be regarded as hard is so they can be like a stereotypical Rick and Morty fan and stroke their cock while measuring their IQ. Most of the time I feel like I'm listening to toddlers talk about their toys and which ones are more complicated. It's still a fucking kid's toy. No one is doing anything that special. Occasionally there are little tricks.
As a toddler mom, I kind of, like, this kind of makes me feel so sad.
Like using a filler combo on Samurai to line things up, or forcing a Twin Snakes early on Monk to make things line up. Sure, but at a basic level, it's not that hard. A lot of times you're going to have to look some stuff up to hit the mediocre level, but even then, once you know what you're supposed to do, it's not that bad. You know why I insist on being called mediocre or adequate? Because I don't do anything special. If a fucking turbo casual like myself can do this, fucking anyone can. You want my nuclear take? I think previous expansion Summoner was easy as fuck. Literally as easy as anything else in the game. The fact that that is still one of my most controversial opinions is one of the funniest things to me on the planet. The only problem that previous Summoner had is that it wasn't straightforward with what you were supposed to do by looking at the buttons yourself. In my opinion, the skill floor was artificially increased by obfuscating the information and making it hard to figure out what you were supposed to press.
Reading the skills does go a long way. There's that moment, like, as someone who's currently going through that, I feel that every time I start something new. Do you know, like, when you log into the game and you feel like playing the game? And when you have nothing else to do and nothing else to level, but leveling that new job that you're about to start, you know in the back of your mind that you're gonna have to sit down a little bit and like read through your skills and your spells. And there's that little bit of like, aww moment when you just really want to play and you don't take that time immediately to read your new spells. Your base package of spells, at least. Let's say you start from level 30 or level 50 or whatever. You already have plenty of spells to read, and you're like, I don't feel like doing this right now. That's the worst thing you can do for yourself, because you're never really going to go back and read them. You're just going to be pressing your buttons. You're going to realize that you're somehow muddling through dungeons and trials and whatnot, that no one's ever even saying anything to you, and you're gonna hit that level 90. You're gonna be like, okay, it's time to learn my job now. Or you're just gonna leave it and never play it because you never read through it and you never realized how fucking magical it feels to play your job properly and to get these effects proccing and to use these spells in a way that you're actually feeling like you're helping your team, and that just kind of feels good.
Which was to press everything as soon as possible and then summon Bahamut, and then go back to mashing Ruin 3, which is very different from mashing Gemshine. You also had to alternate between Phoenix and Bahamut every minute, which is very different from how the job plays now. Of course, I will clarify, I am talking about being mediocre. To be a top 0.1% summoner, was probably the hardest job to optimize in the entire universe, because it involved you taking Bahamut and Phoenix out to a nice dinner and then breaking their kneecaps to try to get them to function properly. You just didn't need to do that in order to be mediocre at the job. It still frustrated the ever-living shit out of me for getting soft punished for pet AI back then, but that's what it took to be the best. But the skill ceiling of a job has nothing to do with it being hard to play.
Luckily, the game still gives you the opportunity to learn your job, even if you're, I don't know, let's say you're level 80, trying to level 90. Every time you queue into a level 50 trial or whatever, you're going to have a very limited amount of skills. And the game basically tells you, like, okay, dude, here's the deal. Like, you're level 80, but this is something that you should have learned before. So it yet again gives you the chance to just try out that 1, 2, 3 combo and see what it actually is supposed to look like. And then once you have that figured out, you can, like, add little cooldowns and mitigation and stuff to your, mental job toolkit and actually use it.
Difficulty should be evaluated by the minimum amount of effort you'd have to put in to hit a decent level where you can do whatever it is that you want to do, or in the case of Final Fantasy XIV, clear the content that you want to clear. The only reason that Summoner is so straightforward now is because they made Dreadworm Trance and Summon Bahamut one button, removed Enkindle, and made all the spells instant cast during Bahamut phase. Now I want you to imagine previous expansion Summoner with these changes alone, and tell me that the job would not be the most straightforward thing on the planet. Once again, if you can clear the hardest content in the game from the expansion by playing at a mediocre level, then it doesn't matter. When I say something is easy, it's like saying it is easy how to learn how the pieces move in chess. That's not going to be the hard part. Dancer might be easy, but you can still drift standard stepped into the void if you're not paying attention. The real challenge is doing your easy rotation while shit's being flung at you all over the place. At the same time, difficulty can be really hard to quantify because what people find difficult is going to vary from person to person. You might personally find something harder to play and something easier, and then someone else has it the other way around. Maybe, just maybe, you find some things easier or more difficult because of your own brain. In this case, though, we're still talking about the difference between easy and easier. But come on, you want to know what isn't difficult, though? Pressing Fleeting Raiju after a Raiton? Yeah, that's right. When you had to press 2 gap closers after Raiton, I understood. I knew that people wouldn't like that you couldn't hold it in, like how you can't hold your shit. But now, after these changes, you want to know what this button is? It's a fucking combo action.
But here, why give stacks if you can't hold it?
It could be because you typically press Raitons back-to-back in burst windows, so letting you build up multiple Raijus actually makes it less clunky and more for...
I love how, instead of, probably investing into some form of, like, I don't know, therapy or whatever, Misshapen Chair decides to make a YouTube channel where every time he has a frustration, he lets it out and he's like, this is my job now. I'm not gonna pay anyone else to listen to my frustration. I'm going to make money off of my frustrations.
Forgiving, so that you can still press Raiton and TCJ next to each other and not lose a Raiju. Man, it's almost like the developers wanted it to be convenient. You know, actually, I have a better question for you. What do you want to press instead? Another melee range weapon skill? The only thing I can possibly imagine is pressing Throwing Dagger because you held a Raiton but accidentally used it a little too early. If only you could have pressed Throwing Dagger first. This has to be one of the easiest things to play around in the entire game I have ever heard of. Yet I see people falling over and crying on the floor and pissing themselves over nothing. Holy shit. I bet you don't even complain that you can't hold Gallows or Gibbet on Reaper, because if you don't complain about that, that means that you can't even hold your own beliefs consistently. You want to know what else is fun? Nobody understands numbers. I already knew this, because nobody likes math. It is funny watching people complain about numbers in this game.
Oh, boo-hoo. Reaper does more raid damage than Samurai. I can't believe that the dev team hates us degenerate weeaboos.
Oh, really? How big is this supposed difference anyways? Do you actually know? I guess I can do a little bit of research. Let's see. It's about 2.4% between Samurai and Monk, which is actually the top RDPS right now, but I bet you didn't even know that. Although Monk and Reaper's ass cheeks are right next to each other on the RDPS toilet seat. But RDPS tries to account for the buffs that jobs bring to the table. But what about just raw individual damage?
How about taking skills from the individual people into consideration? Like when you see these stats, you automatically assume that everyone's parsing 100 instead of just, instead of just getting the best that you can be at your own thing, and then just realizing that not everyone else does that.
Oh, that's kind of interesting. Samurai does the most individual damage in the entire game. Crazy. This isn't a bad relationship between jobs that strictly do damage and jobs that provide buffs. You see, jobs that serve up buffs are then rewarded when jobs take those buffs and dish out more damage. This is a symbiotic relationship. And then I will still see some fucking mouth breather complaining that they do less individual damage as a ninja compared to a freestyle Sam. It's almost like you make the entire raid do 5% more damage every minute for 15 seconds. So of course Ninja's personal damage has to be lower. They have to account for trick attack if you want to make the game relatively balanced. Of course, poor Black Mage isn't the top individual DPS right now, which makes it so god-awful that you would never be able to clear the current Savage tier at all, let alone world fucking first. If you played Samurai before because it was the top DPS in the metagame, I'm gonna tell you something, you're not a Samurai player, you're a meta player.
Yeah, I want to try Savage, and I think that will probably be happening as soon as I move. I wanted to start like a couple of weeks ago, but I'm currently in the process of moving. This is actually my last weekend at this place. So, day after tomorrow, I'm actually leaving, and I am yet to get my fiber installed in my building, and that will probably take another, week or two or so. So I'm working hard on that, and once I'm just like stable at my new and hopefully more permanent location, I will commit to that as well.
Go play Reaper or Monk and be happy. Oh, what's that? You don't like playing Reaper or Monk? Then play the job that you like to play. Is it still good enough to meet whatever DPS check you want? Then who gives a shit? Oh, no, I know what it is. You want the job that you personally have the most fun playing to also simultaneously be the best job in the metagame. Well, if we just take a look at how many jobs there are and assume that you have an equal chance that any one of them could be your favorite, the odds of that happening are pretty fucking slim. Get used to it. Welcome to reality. But you know what, you're right. Samurai is a very, very hard job to play. Much harder than previous expansion because they added in a whole extra 1.3 second cast time every 2 minutes, which is one of the easiest things to slide cast on the entire planet. Honestly, why not just slap a Samurai nerf so I can see some more people blow a gasket? It would be more interesting to me, and I would continue to play the fucking job. But this goes back to what I said before. Every single job is easy. Job loyalty is like brand loyalty. I don't understand. If you aren't enjoying a job and you think a different one is more fun, if only you could play the one that's more fun for you. Or if you want to play the one that's more meta, you can play the one that's more meta. Here's an image of the world before and after you change your main job in Final Fantasy XIV. This next segment of the video will lower how fun this is overall, but allow me to clarify, there's nothing wrong with giving feedback. But there is a weird pervasive mentality that I find in many gaming communities, and that's when someone makes a mistake while playing a game, instead of trying to play better, they just lash out at the game itself, even if it's justified. But if you have all this time and energy to constantly bitch and moan about something, you have the time and energy to get better at it. I did my triple weave back in the day because that's what I had to do to make it work. And I even proceeded to stand still during my instant cast phase because I wanted Phoenix to do what it was supposed to do. What I noticed with Final Fantasy XIV especially is that because they listen to the player base so much, it's all about doing whatever they can to lower the amount of negative comments they receive on the forum. It's why they would rather buff every other job in the game rather than just ever so slightly toning down Reaper's damage. I am not going to say that that's the wrong approach, but I wonder if the motivations behind it come from a place of fear that people are going to complain when you literally cannot please everyone. When people see a job change like Tsubame Gaishi,
I think it just has a lot to do with what Yoshi-P said about greed. He does have the mentality of, you know, a man who does want to please everyone, like all the players. And historically, it's been working out. That's how Final Fantasy became big in the first place. So I see nothing wrong with this.
on Samurai and
You want people to be happy, right?
decide to quit the game because of something so insignificant, I cannot help but think that you're a massive baby. But I'm also a massive child because I've complained about job design in the past too, so how am I any different? So with all of this, I'm gonna help you understand your own emotions like a very shitty therapist. If you don't like the way that a job feels, that means that you don't like how it feels on a personal level. It doesn't automatically make the job fundamentally bad from a number or a gameplay standpoint. Of all the things to start shitting on the floor over, this is pretty petty. It's still important for the devs to know what the majority of players don't like, but it's still going to be a personal opinion at the end of the day. You are allowed to like previous expansion Summoner, even though you're wrong. So anyways, put Blood Weapon on a charge system, but leave Fight or Flight and No Mercy alone. But who knows, maybe we're going to have to make those accessible too. It's not like it's going to make the job play any different. Also, if you end up finding this game too easy to play, here's my pipeline for you. Start beating all the hardest content in the game. Once you do that, do it on every single job. Then start optimizing every single job with your spare time. And if it's still too easy, poo-poo pee-pee boring for you, maybe take a little break from the game and go touch some ass. I'm going to crawl back into my cave yet again and close my eyes, reminding myself to never look at anything that anyone ever says about any game ever. Now let's get out there and stop being a little bitch about micro difficulties when it comes to playing a job at a moderate level.
He has a point. Wow. I don't know. I agree, to be honest. Like I don't like I can't comment negatively on anything said here whatsoever because everything is just so individual, and I don't know. People who just spend their time on Twitter and other social media just repeatedly complaining about these things, like they should try game balancing, especially MMO balancing themselves for a little bit.
On to making tier lists.
Sorry. What is this? Okay, yeah, this is the one that I wanted to watch next. What is this? Animated Final Fantasy XIV. Have we seen this video? I actually don't remember. Probably not. Level summon Shadowbringers was not hard at all. It was basically walking up machine, nothing wrong with that. Like he said, like you can like it or you can dislike it, and it really doesn't matter because it's an opinion. It's never a fact. I don't think I saw this one. Aww. Like, this is the anime that I would legitimately watch. I hope that's the next thing that we get.
15이 되면 여러 세상을 둘러보며 본격적으로 공부를 시작할 때입니다.
Wait. Is there an English? Okay. Let's try it.
열다섯이 되면 여러 세상을 둘러보며 본격적으로 공부를 시작할 때입니다. 스물이 되면 그랜드 컴퍼니, 즉 총사령부에 가입하고 군표 벌어서 초코보 타야 하죠. 서른이 되면 누구나 다 잡이 있어야 인정받을 수 있습니다. 총사령부 가입부터 빨리 끝내자.
Yeah, the translation is not really working properly, but that's okay. Like I just kind of want to see the video. Aww. The best thing about it is that this is actually what it looks like. It's just a different different art, but that's the feeling. Yeah, this is fan made.
서두르지 않아도 괜찮아. 나만의 방식대로 즐기자. 앞서 나가는 것보다 즐거움을 느끼는 마음이 중요해.
Now, a world in which we don't have anime Final Fantasy is forever ruined for me.
이 세상의 모든 것이 즐거움이니까.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
파이널 판타지 14.
Why is it translating it as ride on other people 13? What? I never should have turned on the translation. Jeez. Okay, never translate anything on YouTube ever again. Unless they say that you can. That was so wrong. No, the video was beautiful though. Like I love they have like 155 subs. Let's see if they have like other videos as well. I'm not sure if they actually seem to have a lot of videos. I'm not sure if these are like if some of these are made by them or if this is like some other person's content. I don't know. Like I wanna sub to them. I'm not sure what I'm just gonna go ahead and do it because I have no idea what the next thing is that we're gonna see, but that was pretty cool. And yeah, I do have a lot of tabs open because I need to track the things that I wanna watch with you guys. So today we're gonna try to go through as many things as possible. Logging out in an inn, other races versus Lalafell. What? Okay. That looks pretty normal. Why is he naked? That's not what it looks like, does it? Does it look like this? Are you kidding me? I need a Lalafell to confirm this. No, that's not possible. That is not possible. That is not. No, no way. I've never seen this. Are you kidding me? This is how they get into it. What? That was so cute. Wow. Oh man. Am I gonna have to be Lala for this? I don't log out in an inn anymore anyways. I used to. Because someone once told me, like when I started streaming Final Fantasy, someone once told me that there's like a buff that you get or something that like when you log out in an inn and that everyone does it. And that you also have to sleep at a bed to get like more rest or whatever. And as someone who came from WoW, who knows about the rested experience, I thought that was actually true. So I kept doing it for weeks and weeks and weeks. So thanks, guys. All right, I'll be right back. That is how you log out? Wow. I would do that every time. That is so adorable. Alright, let's watch more. What is this? Okay, this is another one that people have been either positively or negatively excited about. Like I think the without looking at the video at all and watching it, the title makes sense because none of the games are perfect, but I just want to hear what specifically they have to say about it. Wait, whose video is this? I didn't even pay attention. Oh, this, okay.
Man, Reaper is so fucking fun, man. There's so many things you can do with Reaper. You know, Yoshi P said Reaper was very easy to balance because Reaper is a brand new job, right? I mean, I say this a lot of times already, right? Reaper is a brand new job. So for them to make Reaper so perfect, it's not because Reaper is broken. A lot of people think that Reaper is too fucking strong, Reaper is broken. It is just a job that is designed for this expansion in 2021. This is a 2021 job. That's why it's so fluid. That's why it feels so fun to play. Whereas you got job that felt clunky, like Ninja is a 2.0 job, Dragoon was a 2.0 job, Monk was a 2.0 job. You know, they add on more stuff,
But they do go back to these jobs and they try to balance them, so...
It doesn't always mean that you add on more stuff means the job just get better, right? For them to balance those jobs based on 2.0 playstyle, 3.0 playstyle, how the game was meant to play during that time, and how those jobs were designed for that time. You know, this job doesn't feel as good, right? Reaper is made for 2021 for this expansion after collecting all the information on what to not make a job clunky. That's why it's so good. You know what I mean? Exactly. That's why you got Monk rework. That's why you got Summoner rework. Because there are some jobs, right? When they first released, they were playable. The way that they were introduced, it was playable. But slowly after the years, you start to realize that it's getting more and more clunky. It's getting more and more unplayable. That's why they have to rework. If Reaper is a...
And I see nothing wrong with that.
2.0 job, I guarantee you Reaper will be as clunky as any other job. Reaper is not strong. Reaper is just balanced, perfectly balanced for this expansion. That's why, again, my fellow Reaper mains, we ain't getting shit for the next 2 years. We are not gonna get buff, we are not gonna get anything more because this job is really as perfect as it can be already. That's why Samurai, Black Mage, those jobs is gonna get a huge buff, man. Huge. And they also said there are some jobs that is more clunky, harder to play, that they feel like they need to give them more, and I'm pretty sure that means Dragoon. To be fair, I think Dragoon needs more damage. I really think so. Eventually, all the jobs will get all caught out. It's just gonna be very difficult. Reaper is an example. Again, I always say directional is extremely outdated system, but they still put it in.
Does that not make you feel hopeful for the future, though? If they finally crack the code on how to make jobs feel less clunky, more balanced, or whatever, does that mean that we're gonna get more jobs that feel smooth but are going to give you a different feeling when you play them? And does that mean that there's gonna be less reworks?
but they make it more flexible. It's not because Reaper is easy to play, it's because this game really need to start getting out of positional bullshit already. That's why you can then make boss omnidirectional. You can make fun fights like turn 2 where the arena is super limited, boss will jump around, you only got one safe platform. That's why you can't do positional, right?
I suppose they can't really do these things because they have like dragoons, reapers, and such that that just like can't do damage when that happens.
Can you imagine if turn 2 got positional, melee is gonna get fucked. I think in order to do turn 2 properly, if the boss is positional as a melee, I think you need to give the melee 10 True North. Then what's the point of True North? Then what's the point of positional, you know what I mean? Sometimes, right, they are struggling.
Okay, I'm not super proficient at like Reaper or whatever yet, and I don't think I've ever even faced. Well, I did probably face a boss that just kind of faces you from their like front side. What happens to your buffs? Like when you stand on the side or from the back or whatever. How do you do that?
Struggling to balance a melee job because they have to include. Are we gonna balance it based on the cheaters that can't do positionals half of the time? Or are we gonna balance it based on the 99 percentile that got 99.9% correct positionals? How are they gonna balance it? It's a balancing nightmare. Especially Dragoon, I think it's a balancing nightmare. How are they gonna make Dragoon? And then you got 5 animation locks in jump.
They're always active? So what's he actually complaining about then? Was that about the fact that some bosses are not optimized for these things? But like if you can still be hit, but rear no. What do you mean? That's the opposite of what Daft said. So you can hit the rear, or you cannot. Positional don't factor if you can't get behind boss. Yeah. So that means that. Oh.
And you cannot double weave. And then they give you one more off GC. I don't even fucking know, man. I don't even want to touch Dragoon now with a 10-foot pole.
Ah, but Dragoon is fun, man. I like to play Dragoon, man. I played Dragoon since Heaven's Word. I think Dragoon is one of the best melee. I think you're stupid.
Listen, I'm not saying that Dragoon is a bad job, okay?
Oh god, this is the first time I'm watching this guy's videos. I've been subbed to him for ages, but I'm just getting to watch his content and can see myself spending a lot of time here. It's very entertaining.
Game now is past that already. And I come back. It's not because Reaper is broken. It's because Reaper is how melee should be moving forward. Now, is this job too easy? I wouldn't say it's too easy. Obviously, I would love a little bit more of skill cap on this job, obviously. Same for Summoner players. Summoner players probably want more for the job. I do feel they can fit in one more primer. I feel that if they say add in Alexander, right? And they somehow make it like more higher APM. If they add in one more primer, toss a little bit potency, make it weavable, this job would have been perfect. This job is like a level 80 job. This hot bar right here for level 90, this is a level 80 job. They needed one more primer to fill in some of those emptiness, and then this job will be a level 90 job. I think Summoner is really strong now, man. Based on the complexity, I think Summoner is a very good job right now. I just think that Square Enix needs to come out and tell us where exactly is this job now. Is this job supposed to be weaker than Red Mage? Or is this job supposed to still do more than Red Mage but lesser than Black Mage? If they remove Rest, then I think Summoner should be doing more damage than Red Mage. That's why it now makes sense, right? Why Yoshi P wanted to remove Summoner, wanted to remove Rest. It makes sense now, right? You know what I mean? It now makes sense, right? They knew in order to justify giving it more damage and do more than Red Mage, the Rest needs to go. We are at the end of the saga.
Do you think people will be happy with that? Like, I'm not a Summoner player, but like if you're a Summoner and if you can't res anymore, but you're doing more damage, are you more or less or equally valuable to your group? Like, prices are kind of cool to have.
This is the end for this first Final Fantasy XIV 10-year saga already, right? If you are going to 7.0, you might as well try to fucking mix it up. You might as well try to make the game different. You might as well try something different. It's brand new saga. You might as well take the opportunity to overhaul anything that you think is restrictive to the game. Let me tell you, these roles are restrictive to the game. There's only so many new jobs they can add in. What the fuck are they gonna add in?
Wait, when did he start playing the game?
Tell me, what the fuck are they gonna add in? What, a 5th tank? I mean, I think a 5th tank works because of how all the tanks are pretty similar, equal. how they all play kind of the same, except you, Dark Knight, except you. But every tank is equal, right? They do same amount of damage, they have the same amount of, again, except you, Dark Knight. They have the same amount of utility. I think adding another tank wouldn't break anything. It just pick 2 out of 5. But what about these other? They barely made. After 4 years, they finally make 2 healer. How are they gonna add in a 5th healer? How are they gonna add in another melee DPS? How are they gonna add in another physical rate? I feel like at some point they need to try to think about this armory system already. Same. Change the way gearing works. For the love of God, man. Gearing don't even fucking matter now. Nobody gives a shit about gear right now. We are
What?
all gonna get 8 weeks, beast. You might as well make us, right? Over the course of 8 weeks, our stats will just become better and kept. It's like a season. The season is 8 weeks. Once you read 8 weeks, you will get your best stats. Your stats will skill maximum. And if you are not 8 weeks, then your stats will just be week 1, week 2, week 3. Fuck the gear.
I don't like that idea at all.
Honestly, fuck the gear. So that when you go to parks, you don't have to worry, oh shit, does this park got good gear? Oh shit, can I clear this fight because that, should I take this person or over the other because that guy is just more lucky? Fuck it, man, just remove gear, right? Just make gear weekly scale to a maximum of 8 weeks. Fuck it. Honestly, fuck it. And then after that, you
As much as I hated the whole process of, like, let's say gearing in World of Warcraft and grinding and getting those item levels and stuff, there is a, like, that is pretty much how MMOs work, and there is some weird amount of satisfaction when you work towards, I don't know, getting your raid tokens or having your weapon drop or having anything drop for you and then, like, equipping it on your jobs. Like, I think for me, that's, like, a big part of the experience, and I know that there's plenty of people who feel the same way. Like, what are you gonna work towards? You know, some people like gear. Let them like their gear. Let them like to upgrade their gear if they want to.
those catch-up gear, 24-man gear, who the fuck uses that except for glamour? Again, 7.0 is a new way to them to think about all these flaws in this game. Weekly lockout. We got 19 jobs. Why are we forced to only do the raid once? Oh, you're not. You can go and play raid. You know, clear for 1-0 chests. Have some fun with other jobs. What fun? What fun? Those gears suck. Why do I want to go? Why do I want to go into PF, help people with my half-ass gear on my sub job? You're capped. We are in 9 years in. We are 5 expansions in already. When this game first came out in the Realm Reborn 2.0, we had 300 tomes. 3 weeks in, they realized that 300 tomes is not enough. They raised the cap to 450 when we had 9 jobs. 3 weeks in, they buff it to 450.
I haven't been playing for a very long time, but I'm guessing that some, I don't know, there's an amount of that well, let's say lack of pressure that they want to have within the game. Like, they don't want everyone to feel like they have to know life dungeons and raids and trials just to get capped. And this kind of system also helps the more casual players get themselves involved into the game, because, like, if you're let's say if the cap was like 1,000 instead of 450, if you can cap 1,000 instead of 450, you're gonna have plenty of people actually trying to do that and successfully doing that. But what happens with all the people who finish the MSQ later or who join the game later and don't have insta access to, you know, to the good gear or whatever? You're basically dividing players into stages of their gearing or their progression based on how early they started with the game. Because if you can get a higher cap, you can automatically equip so many more jobs with the gear, and it's going to, like, that gap between someone who's finished the MSQ and the other person is going to feel too big. And once they want to queue into Party Finder, if they feel like it's too late, like if they finish their story content or whatever, if they feel like it's too late, then they just don't really have a good way of catching up with them if they don't play as many hours as they do. And they're not going to be able to, I don't know, like, I don't know if this is making sense. I just kind of, I don't like that idea. I think it's fine the way it is, but that's just me. Maybe they realize that this amount of, I don't know, poetics or whatever is the amount that you can get and still not feel pressured into playing the game like all the time. There are certainly people who calculated the amount of time that you're going to need to cap this weekly lockout. Like, your number of hours that you play isn't going to somehow magically increase itself just because you now have 19 jobs instead of 9. You still have the same amount of hours per week. And I don't know, like, why would they bump it every time and require people to play more every time? Unless they're, I don't know, raising the amount of poetics or whatever that you're getting from that content as well.
Years later, we get 10 more jobs and we are still stuck at 450 tomes. We got 5 rows, 19 jobs. Why can't you make raid lockout role-based? Today, I raid as a tank. I get a shot of getting totems or gear for my tank. After I done, I can go raid on my healer role and then get another coffer just for my healer. Get healer gear. Why not? Personal loot. Why not? Then I can raid 5 times a week. Oh, but that would be unfair for people who only got 2 jobs. Then 11 more jobs. I mean, holy fuck, man. Isn't this the whole thing about Final Fantasy XIV that you can play all jobs? People who play all 19 jobs, level 90. I don't know what the fuck you guys even do that for. For what? For what? So that you can take a screenshot, post on Twitter? You ain't even...
So that you can get your Amaro mount.
I'm gonna use that for your static employment. Yo guys, I got 19 jobs, level 90. Can I join your ultimate group? So which job is geared beast? Only 3? Who the fuck gives a shit about your other 15 jobs level 90? Make that happen. Make more replayability, right? On all the roles, right? Again, another thing that I hope in 7.0 will change, right? There's so many outdated systems in Final Fantasy XIV right now that dated all the way back to 2 3.0. A lot of things need to be overhauled. A lot of things need to change. But others change doesn't mean it's good. Look at World of Warcraft. Yeah, but World of Warcraft is a shit fucking company. Final Fantasy XIV is a good company. Yoshi P is amazing. I love Yoshi P. I think Yoshi P is fucking awesome. He's not gonna.
No, I changed my mind. I'm not gonna watch him.
I believe I'm a Yoshi P sim. Maybe they will do a better job than Blizzard, right? Trust. Make the change. Take the chance. Believe in yourself. And believe in the player base that believe in you. That is my hope for 7.0. Because if the game is exactly the same, except a different story, obviously, and I have to play the exact same Final Fantasy XIV system for the next 9 years,
I think he's just a little burned out on the game. You don't mind me saying.
I don't know, man. I don't know whether I can do it. I really don't know. I really don't know. We'll see.
I don't know. That was kind of based. Okay, I get it, you know, but I don't get it. I mean, some of these things I obviously can't really give a good opinion on because I don't have a 9-year-old perspective, but at the same time, I think it was a bit much. I'll be thinking about this anyways. Okay, this is something I think you sent me on Discord, but I'm not sure. It's Glamour versus Transmog. That should be fun. A bit more cheerful. Oh god, these are horrible. Like, I was so disappointed in Shadowlands when I saw the tier sets. Like, look at that! What the hell? my god, that puts them to shame so much. Jeez. To be fair, some of these weapons are really old, but that's no excuse because, you know, Shiva weapons, Ifrit weapons, come on. Wow, like where was this video like 2 years ago when I was like, oh, I'm playing WoW because I have nothing else to play. Jeez. I've never played Ragnarok online. Should I do that? Probably shouldn't. I don't need another game. I don't even know what it is. A lot of arrow weapons had custom sprites on them. What are custom sprites? You can dye your character. What do you mean? Like change the color of your character's skin, or?
The following is
Okay, this is supposed to be fun.
Is rated.
This was I think he sent me this on Discord as well.
The following is rated S for spoilers.
Please do FFRT. Oh, okay, the comments for him doing the video.
From the people that brought you a lifetime of never-ending fantasy comes the finale of a story almost a decade in the making, where you'll tie a bow around this epic tale of wonder and magic by prancing around as your extremely embarrassing OC, Final Fantasy XIV.
So do they like get requests to make these honest trailers and then go and play through the whole game and then make that, or?
Endwalker. Experience the critically acclaimed MMORPG Final Fantasy XIV as the success of Shadowbringers and the utterly desolate state of WoW brings an influx of new players to Eorzea, wreaking absolute havoc on the servers, where attempting to log in took as long as waiting at the DMV, and congestion issues were so bad that they literally had to stop selling the game, where longtime fans were really happy to have their favorite game finally recognized, right until they get kicked out by an error and have to wait another 2 hours to log in. It's way more stable now than...
Not if you try to log in within the first 2 minutes, then you kind of just get to butt in and be in the same queue position. I was very lucky to discover that.
WoW refugees have lost interest like everyone knew they would. Look, FF14 won an award for Best Community, so saying that automatically can't be toxic. Discover the bevy of changes Square added for this expansion, where they tuned a bunch of classes and skills for 90, all of which everyone was naturally unhappy about because their mains got nerfed, along with the addition of new classes, Sage and Reaper, that like any new class right out of the box do a ridiculous amount of damage just by pressing 3 buttons, then trek across the new areas as you explore to the ends of the galaxy, smacking every monster and alien you meet along the way until it dies horribly, in an expansion that doesn't change much, but just adds more of the FF you love. Unless you Fantasia into a bunny boy, then you...
I love them.
You'll know what it feels like to be a K-pop star all the time. Ooh, feels wrong to be this beautiful. Witness the final journey of the Scions.
It does.
As Endwalker puts together all the narrative seeds they've sown since even before ARR to finally uncover...
Like, I think that bunny boys should never even be allowed to take off all their gear and appear in underwear. They're too much.
the threat that has plagued past and present. As the Warrior of Light travels through time and space in search of the secrets of the crystal, with the help of all the friends you've made in your long journey, all discovered through a million escort quests that will have you truly understanding the meaning of the name Endwalker as you literally RP walk through the story, so you don't end up losing your NPC and having to start the painful walk all over again.
So many times. Oh, this is the best part of this video so far.
Bask in the beautiful and poignant moments that could only be possible because you spent 5,000 hours with your characters, right until it slams.
And like, if you skipped any expansion and any story of any magnitude whatsoever, you're like, who's this guy? You know, like, it just doesn't feel the same. I don't know, like, I just feel so bad for people who skipped on like Realm Reborn or whatever. Like, all of these expansions just don't feel as good, and it's so unfortunate.
14 monster energies and throws you into one of the most
It is an
anime
RP
finales
walker.
you've ever laid eyes on. In a narrative that feels like the accumulation of all the Final Fantasies you've ever experienced all rolled into one, which is exactly what you're here for. And even though this might be the end of the Scions, there will definitely be new characters for everyone to lust over. I mean, there's still more Hildebrand after all. After you've prevented the calamity, loiter around the endgame, and kill time doing all the side things that you missed while you power hour through the story. As you run all the 90 dungeons and raids, gathering gated currency to get your eye level maxed, so you can sit in Party Fighter to do savage content with strangers, as you smack your face against particle effects and colorful mechanics for hours to not clear it, or avoid all that stress entirely and do all the other stuff designed to keep you subbed, like grinding your gathering and crafting, doing treasure dungeons, leveling up side classes, or waiting hours on end for a super rare monster to appear, as someone writes the entire Shrek script in chat, all to bide your time until the next batch of content comes out, instead of doing literally anything else, because at this point, you've developed separation anxiety with this game. Though to be fair, the true endgame never really stops, because the glam game is forever. Seriously though, Yoshi P, if you can hear this, next expansion, please add more space to the glamour chest.
Oh my god,
This isn't that kind of
please!
story, man. I just really
I've only just started and I already have problems.
I need a place to store my hats. So call forth your dynamis and put a smile on your face in an epic conclusion worthy of its fantasy moniker, where just because it's the end doesn't mean it's final. Because there's definitely still at least 10 more years of content for you to pay for. And if there's one thing that Square excels at, it's squeezing that golden goose until it's a dry husk. I'm already shaking in anticipation for 1.014 Classic to come out. Shut up and take my money. Starring Weeaboo of Light, Sister, This is Thancred, Meowster Waifu, Thou Payest Not Mine Sub.
Oh god.
Precious Catboy to protect at all cost.
That's so true.
Ponytail Mario, Toga Party, Fun Daniel, Regina George, Big Mommy Crystal, Millennion, Dad is the Pudding Way,
Millennium. All of these are so good.
and 2B Leggings, Fantasy Boys 14, Moon Tycoon.
Oh, the grapes. We saw them. We were there when they were there. And no one's gonna ever take that away from me.
Tell us what you'd like to hear in my epic voice in the comments below. For I am God's mighty angel, for I am eternal. Again, I don't wanna.
This was so true. It hurt in so many levels. But like the fact that they can't even say a bunch of shit about it is like, woo! It's good. It is good. It's glorious. That was the best. What is this? The struggle of healers during cutscenes. Not a healer, but some of you are. Let's watch it.
I'm glad you're here, Warrior of Light. we've been through a lot together, and I want you to know that I will do all in my power to keep on living, just so I can make sure to be by your side.
Aww.
Well, I guess this is it. Warrior of Light.
Oh, don't worry about it. I
don't
have a
think
lot
I'm
of
gonna
healing
make
spells.
it,
I can get
but
you
I
back
want
stuff.
you to know that I appreciate all of the great times we've had together. You'll never forget me, right? But if only there was just one healer nearby, maybe all of this could have been avoided.
I'm
But
a
sadly,
healer.
that's not the
Wait,
case, my friend.
I'm a white mage.
I'm
You
sorry,
know
my
this.
friend.
Just give me the dialogue option. I can heal.
Sorry.
Oh no.
But you know what I'm talking about, right? Just one healing spell?
Is this really what it is?
Hey, when this video goes live, I'll be streaming live on Twitch, so come hang out.
Look at me.
Is this really what it is? Like when you spawn into combat where people like skip the cutscenes and you're just like sitting there watching, like is this how you feel? It was bad. That was a good one. What is this? Student fails the charisma check. This should be fun.
Justinian Varliner, formerly of the Order of the Knights Dragoon in Ishgard.
Formally, at least. And what, pray tell, is your profession now?
Feels bad. This is how I feel every time I go to any sort of government place and I need to do some adult stuff, like fill out forms or open a bank account or whatever. And they ask me like, okay, what is your vocation? And I don't know what to tell them. Should I tell them I'm unemployed? That I'm a student graduate who doesn't have a job? Or a content creator? Like I usually go for content creator and they're like kind of blinking at me. And like if I'm opening a bank account, they check at my bank account to see that I'm making money. And then they feel kind of, you know, not really good about asking me if that's a real job. But then they go like, well, how do you classify it? And I'm like, well, my country hasn't classified us yet. I'm classified as a freelancer. And they're like, well, freelancers are a bit different. Never mind. I'll just put you in as who's your employer again? And then I go into intricacies of how YouTube is owned by Google. And they're like, but like, who pays you money? I'm like, well, it's just, yeah, the video volume was very low. I try to bump it up a little bit. I didn't want to rip your ears. And I also didn't know what it was, so. There's a swirl of sprouts. Do you guys know this video? Like, there are tons of these videos that I haven't seen because people have lower number of subs and YouTube just doesn't promote them. So I dig for these videos. And sometimes I am lucky enough to find them. And this is the one that I actually found. You didn't send me this, so we're gonna watch it at my own responsibility. I don't know if it's good or not, but people seem to have enjoyed it. I don't know what it is though. Yeah, people like I can't explain my profession at my bank. Like the bank lady who I always go to talk to, she already knows me. And she's like, oh, she's that girl who doesn't really, you know, she has a job, but like I can't really explain it. So she kind of like always tries to find ways to justify my profession on all these bank forums. And I feel so bad. I'm like, I always try to convince her, like, girl, I actually work. You know, she's like, I know, it's okay. So it's very rough. And also Fernando, welcome back. Sorry for not saying hi earlier. How are you? Hope you're having a good weekend. Ugh. What happens when you take a... Wait, what? What happens when you take a budding white mage who doesn't know what he's doing? Oh, that's me now. Given the responsibility over the lives of 7... Oh, this goes too quickly. And given the responsibility over the lives of 7 other people who also don't know what they're doing. Oh... Oh, I don't like it when people do that with their camera. Please never do that. When someone meows at the beginning of the raid, it isn't a good sign. The meower was the best we had. But this is supposed to be easy, right? Is this like a duty roulette? I love that they made that this video. Please save us. It's like, oh my god, I lived. This is totally gonna be me in a few days. Deep breaths, we're okay now. Oh, fuck, dude. Our heroes invested in chimeras. But the long night had only just begun. Oh no! For a second later. For fuck's sake. Ingrid was not a merciful host. Oh no. SQ3 instead of Reza. The feeling was likely mutual. There's this entire section where the party is melting and I'm just casting stone. I can only assume that I was broken at that point. I love that they went through their footage and they were like, I'm gonna make this public. This makes me feel so much better now. Despite the bloodshed, our heroes prevailed. Just look away. He has mortal gaze. However, the battle was far from over. This fight actually went well. Except for that guy. This might also unfold surprisingly. Ooh. Really? I was actually expecting a mess here. Not now. Jeez, did I miscarry? For me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I was waiting for this. Except for the main event. Nope. Pretty sure I'm the only one who survived that attack throughout the entire fight. Oh god. That's also what he said. So many stacks. Okay, so they know how to stand. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Please help me. Around him. Ow! Is this what you do as a white mage? You just kind of spend your time just kind of throwing rocks at bosses during seemingly peaceful times? Okay. Oh. Ow. Okay. No! Why did I bring it here? No! Oh, that was Kevin again. I think this is the second time. Oh no. Oh no. Okay, that actually went fine. No stacks either. Okay, we're fine. Oh god. I wasn't even there. This is already way too stressful. Like, I will never be looking at this raid in the same way again. Aww. Kevin is such a sweetheart. Lordless Sprouse has slain over 30 men, but nevertheless our heroes were victorious. Also got like 5 comments for the trouble. Much bullshit. Oh, that was really good. This person definitely deserves a sub. Please sub to them. Hopefully we see more of that stuff. Hi, Gregorius! This Probably me. Jeez, that was a good one. I did not expect that, but that was you know what, that was oddly satisfying to watch. I wanna keep this Aquilon's video for well, I wanna keep these for tomorrow because we will continue with these tomorrow. I just wanna see what I want. Okay, have I seen this? The Tancred meme? I don't know. Let's watch it.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No. This is Tancred.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No. This is Tancred.
Oh my god.
Is this the Krusty Krab?
No. This is Tancred.
Oh.
I'm not a Krusty Krab.
Oh god. That was a good one. I have not seen that one. Thanks for sharing.
Click Monarch's link.
What is this? Oh, okay. So I have a lot of videos for tomorrow that I've been wanting to see, but some of them are a bit longer and maybe more on a serious note.
Have you ever wanted to explore a map?
What the hell? Where does this sound come from? Oh, never mind. Okay, this is the one that I actually wanted to see today. It's Zepla's video that I haven't even gotten to watch at all. It's like 2 years old, but that's okay. I think this is like the Twitter and the Discord reviews and such. Mighty Player FF14 Job DPS edition. Yeah, let's watch this. And she does have a bit videos that are a bit more quiet, so we're gonna turn them up a little. Have you guys seen this? I really want to.
A couple of weeks ago, I asked on social media, why do you main your job in Final Fantasy XIV? What keeps you coming back to that job? What do you like about it? The first part was my previous video about the tanks and healers. Today, I am proud to
I'll watch that too. We'll watch it tomorrow.
present the DPS edition. So let's hop to it. Black Mage. It should come as no surprise that Black Mages just want to watch the world burn. It often wasn't enough for them to tell me that they love explosions, though it's fair to say they do. Black Mages sent me way more gifts and videos than any other job, like by a lot. Maybe they have a flair for the dramatic, but who doesn't love blowing stuff up?
Like, I actually only started paying attention to them when I bumped up my party members' effects. They do look dope.
Feeling like a classic wizard. Black Mage has a simple rotation that makes it good for a starter DPS, but at higher levels there can be a lot of nuance to getting your positioning right. That's because your goal as a Black Mage is to move as little as possible, staying within your circle of ley lines while still dodging enemy attacks. This can lead you to being creative in ways that only a Black Mage can be.
I'm oddly curious about this. I actually can't wait to try.
Black Mage is bullshit mage. Choosing the right spot to stand in and move as little as possible is a game in and of itself. Nailing boss mechanics while not disrupting your rotation's flow is what makes this job fulfilling. Simple yet effective, rewarding when you master it. Once I've learned the best time to use ley lines, etc., I feel like a tactical anime protagonist.
Well, you kind of have to know at least the basics of the boss mechanics to be even somewhat good at it, right? Because if you're going into the content as a Black Mage for the first time, you're never really gonna know when to use them, right?
And as frustrating as having to move is at times, once you've learned the fights, Black Mage is very comfy and relaxing. It feels great to keep your uptime going. Nothing quite like it. So I guess what you're saying is Black Mage has no match. Red Mages. Because of you, I read so many tweets like this. Verdict. Red Mage, my favorite version of a caster. Ver has the versatility of being able to Ver heal, revive, and Ver attack up close. Ver cause it's very stylish. Ver very.
Because it's very stylish. It's kind of her brain dead to her play and I'm very dumb. Oh god. This is how I felt when I started Red Mage.
Ver very. You don't have to add another. And it's very kind of her brain dead to Ver play, and I'm Ver dumb. I'm gonna need some vermouth after reading all this. Apart from irreversibly converting your verbiage, other credible reasons to play include Alice, the best scion, stabbing, backflips, being a wizard and a pirate, moments when your mana is perfectly balanced.
Oh, this is like the most satisfying thing about Red Mage. When you know you did your job right, when you've been like paying attention that whole time, and where they're just aligned. Okay, I'm completely disregarding the fact that it's a 69 right now, like and I shouldn't, because, well, but that line aligning is, it just feels so good.
Would be nice. The Spellblade support aesthetic. That'll make you feel like Zoro. Though I like to pretend the Z is for Zeppla. With your heal and resurrection spells, you can save a party from wiping. I experience god power.
Yeah, Zeppla leaked your password.
Powers when I raise the whole team and save the run. Verrays and clutch Vercures are more satisfying than big numbers. It's an easy job to play. Red Mage doesn't give me anxiety. It's simple and fun, and I can keep the group alive. One player mentioned how much they like dual cast, which is a Red Mage mechanic that makes every other spell instant cast. A high damage chain you have to build toward, and a res ability, so I can help in more ways than just damage. That player, Aerith's voice actress. I can't believe Aerith's voice actress talked to me on Twitter. Oh my god, I fangirled pretty hard in my response. Come to think of it, she did wear a lot of red. Just don't go calling yourself Verith. Summoner, while a bit of a mess as you level, eventually becomes a high utility, high mobility death machine made of lasers, dragons, and mythical birds. You and all your pets might start to feel like a little family. If I don't play Summoner, who's gonna feed my carbuncles? What do you feed them anyway? Probably lots of carbs. You can feel like a Pokemon trainer, only if Pikachu wanted to burn the whole world down. Basically,
he kind of wants to.
Everyone else will be Ash. With Bahamut, I'm literally controlling a god. Between Bahamut and Phoenix, we have not one, but two extra large peepees with us. Huge peepee energy from the top of the damage meter. Darkness. By the way, Summoner is 2 jobs for the price of 1. You'll also level Scholar automatically. Summoner is notorious for its 2-minute rotation with strict 30-second phases.
That's no longer true, is it?
It's a never-ending piano concerto. It's got strong dots and solid AoE, plus cool armors that often include horny headpieces. Larry Zor said he plays Summoner because he super glued the dong to his head and it won't come off. I was like, but what if you want to go bio? And he said, it's always number 3. It weaves like a melee while being a caster. One former Red Mage main said that they switched to Summoner for all the weaving and planning that, quote, makes it more engaging than Red Mage. Like Red Mages, Summoners can also res. I've interpreted Summoner as a shaman from playing Final Fantasy games. They're attuned to the world and are able to call the elements of nature to their side. Using major...
To me, coming from... oh my god. To me, coming from WoW, like, this is pretty much what it felt like.
Moves like Oxborn and Revelation, I feel like Rydia or Yuna. I can do what I do best, ruining everything. You know, I had to include that joke. Bard. Winarian, my Mikote bard, travels the lands in search of inspiration for his songs. While all the ladies seem to like his music, as a bard, you can be the Yasker every party needs.
I love him so much.
I'm so glad that I could just bring you all together like this. Unbelievable.
Corny and goes doot doot, and I can play Careless Whisper whenever I want. At level 30, you'll get the Perform action, which lets you play instruments like this. Hey, that means even when your rolls are bad, you'll always have the loot. Bard is the job with a bow, and that alone draws people to it. I can have a bow as a weapon and don't need to be a Hanzo main to do so. Many bards said the rotation flows like music. Like each 30 seconds is a set of 4 measures. The song durations at 30, 30, 20 are like odd time signatures, keeping the tension with the charge bar and then hit him with a nice solo with Apex Arrow. Switching songs is like changing between chord progressions. You build to a crescendo with Apex, and you buff and uplift others as music does in real life. And if you make a mistake in a raid, however minor, you could fall flat. The challenge of Bard is keeping up dots in songs while playing OGCD Whack-A-Mole. You can attack on the move and from range with your wide view of the raid, helping you see AoEs and stay out of trouble. Minimal stress, and you get fancy hats. You know, Bards do have a reputation for looking sharp. Next up, Machinist. Maybe people main machinists because they want to stick to their guns. Anyways, machinist was totally
Oh, she knows how to make dead jokes too.
fooled in Shadowbringers. Making it cooler and better than ever
What is
before.
wrong with me?
But I got comparatively less machinist responses, which makes me think people just don't know about the abilities, the new stuff. I have a gun. I have a robot gun. Pineapple pen guy is more intense than I remember. I do the pew pew with my gun, and then I summon a robot. My robot queen is always ready to kick some ass. My class is a simp. Queen's actually my favorite part of machinist. So you're saying you couldn't resist her? A love of machines is a big reason lots of people play machinists. Some are in IT or have a general fascination with all machines and equipment, or just in a technology steampunk aesthetic. As for the rotation, there's no dots. I don't have great ping, but the hypercharge wildfire window is fun. Before you pull the trigger on machinist, you should know you need to have good ping. It's important for performing well on this job. You'll have full freedom of movement, like other range supports. The machinist rotation is really straightforward. I like knowing exactly when things are going to proc and why. Another thing they said...
Shouldn't you know that about, like, all your jobs?
they enjoyed was having a flamethrower. And if that doesn't light a fire under your ass to start machinist, I don't know what will. Machinist mains also told me they know the drill. Drill animation makes me happy. My drill went right up to Titan's anus for an entire tier in the opener, and it never got tiring. Sounds like Titan was pretty screwed. Hey, if you can...
I knew it was coming, but I was like, Zeppelin, no!
That's flamethrower right before a drill. Would that make it a fire drill? Next up, Dancer. My current main. I was swayed into trying Dancer for one reason. Chakrams. Xena, Warrior Princess, Chakrams. Though I sometimes feel more like this.
Look what the round thing does.
Oh god.
A chakram's a weapon.
I'm starting to wonder about Zepla's like movie and TV show taste. Like I almost every video of hers that I watched, like there's these like very old references for like these very old things that everyone's forgotten about.
You don't just kick ass while being pretty. You kick ass by being pretty. I'm sexy with sexy buffs. I dance and I kill. I like hitting nearly 170k damage after shaking my booty for a couple seconds. You gotta shake your ass to buff the party. That's why our job icon looks like that. As a dancer, your technical step will buff the whole party's damage by up to 5%, while the person you chose as dance partner gets extra buffs from standard step and devilment. Who wouldn't want to be the popular girl? Everyone wants to be your dance partner. Or partner, as the case may be. And like our buff bottoms, our rotation is so smooth. Dancer feels so flowy and free. You can zoom around with dash, aka an avant. I'm a dancing Popoto. I can noom around. Hey, as a Lala, when you use an avant, does that make you it?
Dude, we're all old. It's fine. I also know these references. How do you think that makes me feel?
A dash brown? It's fun going from 0 to all the procs, getting full fans and esprit and burning through them under our buffs. It's easy to learn and the RNG makes it engaging. You gotta think ahead of what to use when, so you don't drift your buffs. Becoming a blender when AoEing mobs. I think I have some AoE footage.
Will it blend?
One more thing. Healers talk a lot about Blood Lily, but let me introduce you to Blood Lotus.
Beautiful, isn't it?
That looks pretty dangerous. You better watch your step. Dragoon. Cool spiky armor? Yes. Do I fly into battles creating massive explosions and stuff? Oh yes. Do I have the heart of a freaking dragon? I was floored by the number of answers I got from Dragoon. One thing they seem to have common ground on is knowing that they look badass. Like Kane Highwind or Aranea. On top of amazing gear, there's cool looking abilities that let you bounce around like a caffeinated Yorkie. Bounce, 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 no wait, stop, man, I'm off the edge. Soar through the sky, chilling with dragons. Shoot up into space, and then crashing down with such a force that you slam into the enemy at Mach 2. And occasionally the ground, but mostly the enemy. You feel the impact of Stardiver, using your body as a tactical missile. So yeah, Dragoons have a bit of a reputation for, risky behavior. Just saying, hold my spear. It's fun to jump off the map and die to the lava below. 10 out of 10 would backflip into a death wall again. I got a lot of floor tank memes, but I don't want to beat that joke into the ground. I mean, that's a Dragoon's job. Some enjoy the risk factor of balancing jumps with fight mechanics due to the danger of jumps locking you into the animation, so you need to have good timing when jumping out of the bat. Dragoon hits that sweet spot where it's not too complicated and not too easy. It feels lightning fast and has high damage.
Is that on purpose? Like, is that the design effect of like how Dragoon is actually supposed to feel, or is it just something that can't be fixed?
I like playing Dragoon so I can be great at it and show people that not all Dragoons are shitty AoE hugging lunatics. Hashtag not all Dragoons. Well, maybe the law Dragoons just aren't practicing enough because they don't have any spear time. Monk, what's better than beating a dude to death with your fists? The simple aesthetic of going around and beating the life out of something with your bare hands. It fills my urge to punch people IRL. Are the monks okay? Some people did say it's the bad guys you want to punch, not good people. Good to know. I heard the calling of the fist, so I began fisting everything with monk. TMI. I kind of got the sense that there's 3 types of monk. Those with a reverence for martial arts, like I'm a kung fu practitioner. Tifa stands, and people who just want punch things. Trying to hit positionals is a fun minigame that I just don't get from spellcasters. Positionals are actions that do more damage from the side or the rear. It makes me think on my feet. Chaining attacks in a rhythmic way while constantly moving to hit positionals is as exciting as any action.
It's okay, we're all old. Like, you should look up Final Fantasy's demographics, and you'll see that it's an old people town, and we're all in it. It's okay.
Thanks to Grease the Lightning stacks building up to give you a dummy low GCD, Monk is one of the fastest attacking jobs in the game. I should mention that several monks pointed out that it's in a real jank spot at the moment due to the whole Anatman thing, which freezes your timers and builds up speed, but you gotta sit still, like you cannot move at all for up to 30 seconds for it to work, usually in the opener. That's kind of frustrating for a lot of these speed demon monk mains. One monk who loves the job's party buff Brotherhood told me they like to use it and say, "Come together, my brothers," which reminded me of the great fist fighters of ages past.
Brother, they'll be trying to drink their own sweat to survive, brother.
Overall, people love Monk for giving you more to do than just stand still and press buttons. So don't knock it till you try it. You might get a kick out of it and end up liking it a punch. Ninja. I chose Ninja as my main because I like Naruto. Also, I'm a weeb. I can feel like a Naruto character. I'm a weeb. I'm an absolute weeb. I will be Hokage someday. Before you laugh, I mean, the Naruto running is more aerodynamic. Ninjas have passively faster movement speed, as well as flippy jumps, reduced fall damage, and a self-yeet Shikuchi, which is a smoke bomb teleport. You can use it to get past crowds and say, Excuse-moi. I simply adore the Mudra system because it's like a little puzzle game each time I use it. Oddly enough, Mudras scared me away from Ninja at first, but now I can't get enough of it. Mudras are these 3 little buttons that trigger a different ninjutsu attack depending on the order that you use them in. If you screw it up, you'll get a bunny of shame. Well, that's what I call a bad hair day.
Wait, is that for real?
A lot of these ninjutsus can be cast at range, which is why some call it a safe melee. It gives you decision-making options, like maybe holding on to mudras for avoiding mechanics. I tried Dancer, but settled with Ninja because of the high difficulty ceiling. It makes me feel big-brained and savage. But can a ninja debuff the boss and help the party?
Why? Why does that exist at all? What the hell?
Sure you can. You can deal a huge amount of damage during the trick attack window, which increases the target's damage taken by 5%. And everyone likes that. Ninjas are the definition of extra with their custom flippy jumps, summoning Clifford the Big Red Frog, and sneaking around with...
Like, that's gonna give me so much anxiety when I start leveling. What the hell?
Hide. So maybe you should take a stab at it and see if it holds your attention. Next up, Samurai. Oh, you thought ninjas were weeb? One of the samurai sent me this. Don't look at her. She's not worth your time. Look into my eyes. Breasts are nothing, but might controls everything. Can't even read it. Yoshi P gives me a katana. Me. It's time for them real weeb hours, boys. Getting to wield the power of folded steel in anime is a powerful feeling. We know, Xenos. I'm a big weeb. I'm a massive weeb.
Not anymore.
A lot of weebs said that it has that big crit energy. The big numbers that make the dopamine. Double crit, Midare Setsugeka. Midare. Dancers love us. Yeah, Samurai is actually usually a very good dance partner choice. And we draw the moon with sword magic, which looks like a powerful maneuver. No other DPS has kept my interest. I always feel energized playing Samurai and constantly finding ways to improve. It's simplistically high skill ceiling. It doesn't come off as super hard, but to be good at it, you are actually required to use your brain for the job. There's a certain elegance within it, and it's very deliberate in how you have to think ahead in the fight to perform your best. It's fun and rewarding to play. Studying the blade paid off finally. I just realized as a dancer, I'm the one with the audacity to come to you for help. One person said they just wanted to be Samurai Pizza Cat, which I had to Google.
Samurai Pizza Cat. Oh yeah! Who do you call when you want some pepperoni?
Don't you mean pepperonin? Really dropped the ball. A lot of people love Samurai.
I don't know that cartoon. Is there anyone in chat who does?
Stories or show an interest in the Ronin fantasy or katanas in general. Samurai. I like it because samurai, and I stick with it because samurai. Only other samurai can understand. One funny reason would be that it comes with a saya, scabbard, so you don't have a floating blob of a weapon. It's like Dark Knight and all classes are just flopping there around with not a care in the world. Cover up your blades, people. Whew, I didn't think Frey could get more sexy. I was wrong. I hope you liked this video. Maybe it was helpful to you in learning a bit more about the different DPS jobs in Final Fantasy XIV. If you did find this video helpful or fun, please consider supporting the channel on Patreon or on Twitch. You can also support the channel for free by clicking the subscribe button or by sharing this video with your fellow warriors of darkness. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!
That was a good one. Like, I love how people can just create these most imaginative videos based on like a single topic. It's like jobs. Like I've been watching so many of them lately, and they're all just creative and awesome in their own ways. I like them. But anyway, let me see. Boys and girls and everything in between, I will be going now. I will be back today, later in the evening, for the, actual game stream. That's probably gonna be in like 3.5 hours, so around 9 p.m. Central European time. I have a shit ton of things to do. I'm packing. As I mentioned like 1,000,000 times already, I am moving this weekend, and I'm actually very excited. My the place where I live in right now, it looks pretty bare, but I also have a lot of other rooms to visit and to just kind of poke through and see if there's anything else that I forgot to pack. So that's gonna be happening on Monday. But yeah, this is my last stream from this particular location, and probably the last weekend stream in the next like couple of weeks or so, because I am still in the process of figuring out Fiverr, but I am working on it, and it's gonna happen soon, so no worries. I will be back, but yeah, I will be taking a short break, but the videos and everything will still be ongoing on the channel. Anyway, thank you for watching. I hope you had fun. Tomorrow we will continue. We actually have quite a few videos to go through that I've been wanting to watch. Some of them are longer, some of them are shorter, but it doesn't matter. They're fun, and that's what we'll do tomorrow. Apart from also the second stream in the evening. But I'm rambling. Anyway, have fun. See you later. Take care. Have a good weekend, and bye bye.